Racing to the massive roar of the crowd, sending her forward, putting her right on the speed. Epic finish to the Everest. What a daring ride. Bella Nipotina wins the Everest. A thriller there at the end.
With Tim Gilbert and Julie Snook, this is Racing Dreams, the Everest.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Racing Dreams. It's lovely to have your company on this Saturday morning, the first official Saturday of spring. The sun is shining here in Sydney and we are bracing for a very big day of racing ahead. I am flying solo this morning, but my mate Timmy will be back next week. Never fear, we have a very big show coming up for you today. Let's take a look. Linebacker is back for the spring. We catch up with trainer Tom Charlton ahead of today's Tramway. The new Grey Flash eyeing the world's richest race on turf. We catch up with Team Browser later in the show. And he's won more Everest than any other jockey. We catch up with Karen McAvoy as he chases another big spring. That's right, spring is officially here. Group racing returns to Royal Randwick today for the historic Chelmsford Stakes Day, marking the first Saturday of the spring. I'm looking like a flower for a reason. Nick Burney is live in the Sky Racing studio. Good morning to you, Nick. We couldn't ask for better conditions today.
Yeah, good morning to you, Julie. Another exciting day out there at Randwick, and it's another one of these meetings where we get to see a few of the superstars return to the track, none more so than Lady Shenandoah. So Chris Waller has decided this preparation, he's going to take her on that sprinting pathway. She's going to resume over the 1,000 metres, which are a distance she's never seen before. We know it's a specialist distance, but he thinks she can get the chocolates today in race 8. And looking at the Concorde, in the past 8 years, the 7 of those horses that have won the Concorde have gone on to run in the Everest. So this is a key lead up. And of course, as you said, the Chelmsford Stakes. Chow Wolf, I just looked before, he's now ticked into odds on. So he's not in the tips today, but he's going to get every possible chance from that inside draw. I think he can bounce back today, and I think has to be one of the better bets of the day. I think a lot of people will throw him into the multis, and just having a look at the overview today, Royal Randwick, that's where we are. The rail in the 4 metre position. We're on a good forward track. Now, I went back, I've done a couple of years of history. When they do put the rail in this 4 metre position, this is when the track just plays so fair. They may want to edge off 1 or 2 horses off the fence in the straight, but we're going to get a perfect track out there today, and I'm really looking forward to it, Julie.
Yeah, so am I. I'm heading out there. It's going to be a great day. Let's take a look at a 10-race card today. Talk us through who your best bet of the day is.
I'm with the old Marvel, Private Eye. So I'm going to go with race 9. He looks the best for me on the program. So this is him last start at Caulfield. He was first up this day. Look, he had his chance. He led at a very slow tempo. It was a great ride, a well-rated ride by their Nashua Wheeler. So he's always in control. But what I liked about is how he sprinted off that slow tempo, and right on the line, he's actually holding the rest of the field. So as I spoke about before, a lot of runners are still returning to the track. So he's the horse who's got the fitness edge. He's got the run under the belt, but under the race conditions as well. He is so well placed at the weights. You might look at the form guide and go, wow, he's drawn wide. That looks a little bit tricky from that 1,400 metre start. But he's got gate speed. He's got the run under the belt, as I said. And Nashua Wheeler on, he's got that great affiliation with him. He's just going to push forward. I think he sits outside the leader. He can sprint off that tempo like what we just saw. And he's going to be very, very hard to get past. So he might be 8, but he might have just the touch over these younger horses who are resuming from a spell today.
Yeah, I think someone forgot to tell him that he's 8. He's still got it, the old guy. Your next bet today comes early on in the card, race 1.
Yeah, I always want to try and start well. So I'm going to kick off with race 1, number 1. It'll be the first horse you see in the form book, and that's going to be with James McDonald on board. So this horse has got in a couple of tricky positions its last couple of starts, especially this day. So it's the horse all the way back in between those 2 runners there in the blue hat and the white sleeve. And what you probably didn't see into the vision there, just lost its spot at a key stage. And Anna Roper rode this day. She had to slowly build momentum, and this was on a heavy 10 surface, so a very rain-affected ground. And you go back through Denman Star's form, he's much better suited on a dry surface. This was also in a stronger grade race, so this is a benchmark 78. They ran very fast time against the day. But what happens now is he drops to a midway grade race, which is a restricted race. You get barrier 1, you get James McDonald. And I think you saw him in the vision there being last. He might actually lead or be in behind the leaders today. So I'm expecting a sharp improvement. 1,400 metres suits, and he's run 2 back. He ran second. If he can reproduce an effort like that, which was in midway grade, I think he should be very hard to beat today, around that $3.20 quote.
Yeah, big get with J-Mac on board as well. All right, let's have a look at your value pick of the day, race 5, number 6.
Yeah, I've thrown this one in, State of America, and there has been a scratching this morning, but there's $21 about this runner. So I went back to State of America's last win. So he's the horse, the whitest runner there with the white cap there, the aqua colours and the orange colours there as well. And he's an interesting horse. He's a real pattern horse. So in his first up run, he was in a listed race and he was just completely outgraded there. It was also on a heavy surface. So you'll look at the form guy and say, wow, that was a pretty plain run. But you go back through all of his pattern runs, his second up run is where he produces his best. And at the weights today, he gets a claim with Braith Knock. He's going to have barrier 1, so he can be much closer today, up on top of the speed. But it's just all about getting back onto a dry surface. Another one of these runners I like that's dropping in grade today. So it wouldn't surprise me if he just jumps out of the ground. And at $21, I'm going to have something on each way.
I like it, and I like the sound of this next one as well. Out wide, I'd like to preface this by saying I was in Mudgee recently, and I reckon I had a blend or 3. I'm just going to leave the rest to you.
Yeah, well, I might have a couple of blend or 3 if this wins as well. So this is him, their last start. He was a maiden runner, and he came into this race for his new trainer, Cameron Crockett. So he travelled so strongly behind the speed there in the aqua blue colours and the black there sleeves. And I just really liked how the horse, he wanted to accelerate straight away. And then when Aaron Bullock, who rode this day, he asked him, he just went bang again. So I think this is a horse that's now just found his form. He's just had a bit of a different change of stable. And he can only goes to a Class 1 today, which isn't a huge step in the country circuit. So this is on Sunday, and he's got that barrier inside draw. The last race there at Mudgee, it's around 5:40 p.m. So it is Father's Day. I'll probably be with Dad watching the football, and what we'll do is we'll flick over to Sky Racing halfway through the second half and hopefully back a winner there at Mudgee and, you know, go right on with it maybe tomorrow night on Father's Day.
I reckon that is an excellent plan, Nick. You've planned out the whole weekend for us. All right, let's take a look at all your tips. The graphic now. Get your phones out, get your pen and paper out. These are the names you want to be writing down. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I'm with the best bet. So Private Eye, which will be today at Randwick, race 9, number 5. I've always liked him. This is a horse that went to the Everest. He's won a Epsom, so he's done it all. He might be 8, but he could be arguably in just career best form. Denman Star, start off the day there. Race 1, number 1, James McDonald, inside draw. I think the value play is State of America. Race 5, number 6, and the out wide is Blend of 3. The last race, which is on Sunday there at Mudgee, race 7, number 2.
Nick Burney, always a pleasure. Wishing you all the best for the day ahead. We'll chat to you soon. Well, Linebacker is back today at Royal Randwick. He heads the list of a number of spring hopefuls for John O'Shea and Tom Charlton. Timmy caught up with Tom for Racing Dreams.
We're ready for the agency Randwick Guineas. It promises to be a cracker. They're set, racing.
Linebacker still in front from broadsiding Swift Falcon. Linebacker wins the Guineas. Linebacker a half length to broadsiding and Swift Falcon. Linebacker, Zach Lloyd. There you go, Zach Lloyd picking up the ride on Linebacker for John O'Shea, Tom Charlton, and he's beaten broadsiding fairly and squarely.
It was excellent to see him put them all together on a big stage and obviously beat some cracking horses, broadsiding and Aliana. And then obviously ran very well in the Doncaster, where he was perhaps a bit unfortunate the way sort of things panned out for him. So yeah, we're looking forward to having him back this spring.
Yeah, and starting with the tramway?
Yeah, look, he'll run in the tramway this weekend. Looks a nice kick-off point for him, 1400 at Randwick, and he'll need the run a little bit. He's definitely not fully tuned. And then ideally he'll have a second run probably in the Bill Ritchie, and then we'll set our sights on the Epsom being his sort of first major assignment this spring.
You and John must be very happy with the way things have gone. Of course, he was gelded only 8 months ago.
Yeah, look, it was a frustrating spring for him last time because we knew we had a horse that was capable of winning a Golden Rose or a Caulfield Guineas or being very competitive, and just let himself down on the big day when we needed him. So, you know, made that decision, and thankfully, look, we've got a horse that's, you know, at the moment, touch wood, sort of sound and healthy and happy horse that will race on for many seasons, and you know, is obviously going to be chipping away at the top level.
Quite a talented stable at the moment. What about Getafix?
Well, he's obviously in that same sort of year group. He was always a very talented horse, but just mentally probably just didn't quite put it all together yet. And his last couple of runs in the winter were pretty dominant, and probably showed him a horse to potentially now take that next step into stakes class. So he's one we're really keen to target the Silver Eagle with at Randwick on Everest Day. And then if he was to run top 3 there, you know, he'd be an option to maybe head to the Golden Eagle, which Linebacker is also possible for.
Athabaskan by a length. Wycliffe is coming off heels. Trust in Use flat out the rails. Athabaskan, Wycliffe's coming with a big run now. Then Waltham the outside. Athabaskan and Wycliffe. Athabaskan, Wycliffe. They hit the line. Athabaskan a nose. Athabaskan just from Wycliffe, and Waltham third.
He's been a great servant for the stable, obviously second in the Sydney Cup a couple of years ago. He again had a bit of a luckless spring last time. He had to withdraw him from the Melbourne Cup the night before. And then last preparation he raced really well, probably just didn't quite get the rub of the green, a couple of placings in decent races. So he'll ideally be Metrop and then probably go down to Melbourne for the Cup, hopefully.
When the news came through, the gates fly, they're racing in the Grafton Cup. Belvedere Boys out wide began well. Quietness in the centre. 150 to go. Quietness in front. Don Diego de Vega after Quietness. Don Diego de Vega hits the lead, draws away. Don Diego de Vega beat Quietness.
Quietness was a new acquisition to the stable. First prep last time. She was a bit unlucky not to win the Grafton Cup. We felt she just threw it away and hung across the track. She's very talented, and she definitely stays well, so she might be a lightweight Metrop chance.
How's a year of training alongside John O'Shea been? I know you've been together longer, but in partnership.
Yeah, look, it's been fantastic. We've had a really good year. Couldn't really hope for much better, to be honest with you. Our strike rate was excellent, lots of winners, and obviously 3 Group 1 winners at a myriad of distances, from sprinting level, mile, and also a 1-2 in the Derby. It was just a real credit to the stable, and yeah, obviously I just feel very fortunate to be a part of it.
Sydney Spring Final, it's a magical time to race.
It is. We've had a tough winter here in Sydney, I feel. You know, like, it's just been horrible and wet, really, hasn't it? So a nice bit of weather in the last couple of weeks, and yeah, lots to look forward to.
Well, certainly a big day ahead for the team at Annabel Neasham Racing, with runners all over the country. Rob Archibald joins me now. Good morning to you, Rob. Lovely to see you. Spring has sprung.
It has, hasn't it? Yeah, thanks for having me, Julie.
It's nice to catch up with you, Rob. It's been a bit of a fresh morning here in Sydney, but I know you were just listening to Nick Burney talk through his tips. An upgrade of the track today, good 4. Yeah,
that's good. Pleasing to see. Obviously, it's been frustrating, I'm sure, for everyone involved. The heavy tracks just makes planning a little bit difficult. You're scratching, then you're waiting for the next week, and that's been wet as well. So, look, everyone's been in the same boat. It hasn't been easy, I bet, for the curators as well. So, yeah, look, we're on a great track here. The racing's heating up, and it's an exciting time of year.
It's a great time of year. Let's jump straight into it today for you and the team. We'll look at the fillies in race 6, the Furious Stakes. You do have a few starters. Let's start with Tupacaro, and we'll look at that trial from August. So how's she placed today, Rob?
She's excellent. Sorry, I was just watching the trial. She's in really good order. Yeah, James got off here and said, he gave her the tick of approval. So she's all set to go today. She's obviously a filly that's probably going to get out over a little bit further through the course of the prep, but it looks a nice starting point, slightly tricky gate, but she's a classy filly, and she'll run well, and whatever she does, she'll only improve on as we progress and potentially head to a race like the Flight Stakes.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. What is the plan for the spring? Also today, Next Gen in this race.
Yeah, Next Gen, she was excellent on debut. She won a maiden at Newcastle, and she progressed really nicely, and then just probably maybe gave her too many runs. But she's come back well. She's bigger, stronger. She's an interesting filly. She's owned by a group of people all under 35. So they're having the ride of their life, and she was only a very cheap yearling. So to have her here on a Saturday is a big excitement for them. And I think she'll run really well. She's got a nice setup from the draw. I know Chad's very happy with her, and I think she's in for a nice preparation.
Geez, that'll be a good day out for that group if she goes well. They could be in for a big spring. Also today, Kajenga in the same race.
Yeah, she's good. She's talented filly. She's just coming into this off the back of one trial, so she's probably going to need the run. But yeah, she's done very little wrong. She's very lightly raced. She comes into it off the back of a really smart trial, and I think she's going well. She's look, we're learning about her all the time. We're somewhat putting her in the deep end here today, but I think she'll run a nice race, and she'll just keep getting better as we progress through the spring. And I think she will get out over a bit further too. So looking forward to seeing her there this afternoon, and I think she's also in for a nice preparation.
A big race today, the Concorde, for many different reasons. It's a good field. First of all, what do you make of the field? Yeah,
it's a strong field, no doubt. There's horses there that are very well credentialed. We love our horse Ostraka. We brought him down to Melbourne last preparation. Had a couple of runs down the straight, and it just didn't quite pan out. So pleased to have him back in Sydney. Love this trial here with Chad on. He's just travelling beautifully on the bridle. He's a horse that races well fresh. So look, hopefully we just get the first part of the race right. He can just get into that really nice rhythm. I expect him to be really strong late. So yeah, he's in good order. Yeah, can't fault him, to be honest. And I think you'll see him bounce back this preparation from what was a little bit disappointing last time in.
Well, one that trialled beautifully, runs in the tramway today. Depth of character. What an exciting gelding this guy is.
He is. He really came into his own last preparation, went up to Queensland, put together a couple of really strong performances, then came back down and he ran second at the coast. I think this horse will make, it's very difficult to jump from 3 to 4 and up into open grade, but I think this horse has got the potential to do it. I think his best distance is going to be a mile, maybe even a little bit further, but he's ready to run a nice race today. And he's an exciting horse, probably one of our most exciting horses in the stable. And can't wait to get him back to the races today, and he'll just keep improving as we progress through the preparation.
Rob, I've spoken to you many times over the years. Can you believe the state of play here in Sydney this time of year? We're really on the eve of the launch of the Spring Carnival. I know you were at the ATC launch earlier in the week there with Annabelle, but the racing that's on offer here in New South Wales now, the prize money, the contenders, the international interest, it's just gone from strength to strength, hasn't it?
It has. It's an amazing couple of months of racing in Sydney, which obviously all culminates in the Everest, and we're just very lucky to be a part of it. And how lucky are we to be racing for the prize money that we do? And it's very competitive, but we're on great tracks, competitive racing. It's just nice to be in amongst it all. And, we're hoping some of our horses can be there in some of those bigger races when it counts. So, very excited for this meeting today, and it's only going to get stronger as we go.
Well, I certainly appreciate you taking the time to chat. I know it's a busy day and a busy time of year for you and Annabelle. Wishing you and the team the best. Lovely to see you, Rob.
Thanks very much, Julie.
Well, still to come on Racing Dreams, we are turning our focus to the Everest, and slot holder Max Whitby joins me live to chat about his contender, star sprinter, Briasa.
Racing Dreams is brought to you by Racing New South Wales and the Tab Everest, the world's richest race on turf.
Welcome back to Racing Dreams. Great to have your company. Here we are at headquarters, Royal Randwick. Don't you love it? Of course, Chelmsford Stakes Day. We've got the Concorde, we've got the tramway as we lead into what will be an amazing spring. And look who I found doing what he does best, the General Manager of Racecourses, Michael Wood. How are you?
Very well, Tim. How are you?
Good. Track looks great.
Yeah, look, we're definitely bouncing out in the spring now, so some nice fine weather. It's a lovely change.
It's a real contrast to a few weeks ago, and there was criticism from some saying we shouldn't be racing, but you get the criticism just as much from those that say we should be racing. So how do you guys play that?
Yeah, look, it's just one of those things. It was a tricky week. We'd had an excessive amount of rainfall, I think 200 odd for the week. So at the end of the day, we're here to assess the track, make sure it's safe for all the participants and horses, and that's essentially the way that we look at it. We've got to block out a bit of that outside noise really at times, and we pushed on, and thankfully it raced really well, and it was a good day's racing.
Yeah, you were vindicated.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, again, we literally just have to assess what's in front of us. Doesn't matter whether you're a Group 1 horse and connection or someone's coming in from the country. We have highways on the day. So for us, it's all the same. We just want to prepare the best tracks we can.
Absolutely, and there's some real superstars racing across these 3 races as we head towards even bigger races over the next few weeks.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've seen them at the course proper trials over the last month. Had a star set there at Canterbury a couple of weeks ago, and they're just starting to filter through into these big races. So hopefully we can get some good horses here on Saturday, and all eyes are set upon the Everest.
And there's some new infrastructure going in around the track, base camp and other things.
Yeah, certainly base camp. We had the old marquee come down just the other day, and it'll be an exciting addition to the racecourse. Certainly a great vantage point for all the racing as you sort of look straight down the straight there.
Everest Day, it's nearly sold out. I know that's not your brief, but it pumps, doesn't it? It's hard to believe it's only been going a certain amount of time. It really has taken hold.
It certainly has. I mean, I look at the first one that I looked after when I took the role as racecourse manager at Randwick, and we broke the track record that day, and it'll live a long time in my memory. But it is close to sold out. No doubt will be sold out when it comes to the day, and a genuine party atmosphere, but celebrating the horse as well.
Absolutely, and one name which is elevating it internationally as if it needed much more elevation is Ka Ying Rising, this superstar out of Hong Kong. And what's the program there?
Yeah, look, he's really exciting. He's obviously probably the highest rated horse that we've ever had come to Sydney for the carnival. And Canterbury's just preparing now. I was only out there this morning, so he'll be in on the 22nd and start his quarantine period. There is a course proper trial set here for Randwick once he does come out of that quarantine, which will probably just be an Everest trial at the time. So that'll be exciting as we head in. But it is exciting. It's great to get some Hong Kong flavour here for the race as well.
Obviously, you're concentrating on the surface. How do you cope with the criticism? How do you cope with the noise? Because there's a lot of it, and a lot of very high-profile people are not backward in coming forward.
Yeah, again, I sort of take the viewpoint that every person's important in this game. They come to Randwick and they expect the best, and that's the way that we work towards. We work to providing the best surface we can. You build up a pretty thick skin, I think, in this sort of role. Some people say you're mad, but we genuinely love what we do, and that's the reason that we continue to do it.
Yeah, the team's certainly done an incredible job out there. Group racing is at Royal Randwick today for the Chelmsford Stakes Day. It is one of those days where world-class racing meets thrilling history. And Shane O'Cass from the Daily Telegraph joins me this morning. Good morning, Shane. A 10-race card on the first Saturday of the spring.
Good morning, Julie. Yes, good morning, everybody. You're right, it's a very historic race, is the Chelmsford, as is the Tramway. It used to be a handicap, Julie, and now it's a stakes set weights race. It's a very important lead into a race like the Epsom, and also the new race we have, the King Charles. So there's a lot of horses today that have got grand finals to come, but these aren't barrier trials. They're worth a lot of money.
They are, and I was just talking to Rob Archibald a little earlier in the program and said the same thing. It's just, we're at the start of September, the Spring Carnival hasn't launched yet, but to look ahead and to see the races we've got coming up, to see the runners we've got coming up, the prize money, it's quite extraordinary now. Absolutely, and it's all on the trainers and the jockeys to get their heads together and work out a program for these horses, because, as I said, there will be a grand final. We know of one, the Everest, but all these other races along the way. I mean, you want to be running well. The Concorde Stakes today, as Nick Burney pointed out before, is such an integral build-up to the Everest, and, you can't afford to put in bad ones. It's basically a knockout. The getting into the Everest, you've got to get a seat at the table, and you don't want to be running poorly in case you miss out. We will talk about the Everest in depth this morning, because we're just 6 weeks out now until that $20 million race. I just like to say that number because there is so much on the line when it comes to this race. 2 of those runners are in action this weekend. We'll start here in Sydney with Jimmy Starr, who lines up in today's Concorde.
Yeah, well, Jimmy Star's an interesting horse insofar as he has speed and stamina to some degree. I mean, he won the Oakley Plate, for the fastest horses in Victoria. He won 102 for 1100, and then he came to Sydney, and you can see him here. He's winning the All-Age Stakes over 1400, and beating Briasa as well, who he's going to meet up in the Everest. So he's a very strong horse late. That's going to help him, obviously, in the Everest, a high-pressure race like that. No doubt they're going to be speed from the minutes the gates open. If you can take a sit like Jimmy Star can and have that sprint that he's got, he's going to be, I think he'll place, put it that way. It's just a matter of whether he can run over the favourite.
Also in today's, as you said, Concorde, Chris Waller's Lady Shenandoah. A lot of eyes on her today for an Everest reason. That's
right. I mean, there's a lot of time, X factor's an overused word in racing, but I mean, Lady Shenandoah does have an X factor because she's very difficult to beat in her own sex. And look, she jumped out and won a Coolmore last start, beating older mares. So when it comes to the fillies and mares, she's probably near number one. That's aside from Autumn Glow, who's going to go on a different path. So poor old Chris Waller's got to split up two of the champion fillies, but he's going to be able to do it. And look, I think Lady Shenandoah, the fact that Chris Waller wants to keep her to the sprints, it does suggest that he thinks probably she's going to be a bit more devastating. She reminds me a little bit of Jolie Star, that she can get back off the speed and finish off really strong. And, these horses that don't lose very often, you just don't know where they're going to end up. And that's what the Everest is. I mean, when you see the final field, you'll be looking at horses that have got sort of 80% conversion rates of wins to runs, which is just incredible, and something got to run last. Who's going to run last out of those 12? If
she wins today, does Lady Shenandoah get a call up to the Everest?
Well, I think there would be people around that already would have her as their pick, and then it comes down to the negotiations. But I expect Jolie Star to be there. I mean, Peter Ty virtually announced it on this show. I expect Lady Shenandoah to be there because when you think about it, you take out, there's 4 slots down, that's 2 more. You've got to find 6 other horses. And, as good as our racing is, I can think of 6 horses who probably should almost be there now. But, the slot holders would like to see them do a little bit more closer to the race.
Well, Ka Ying, he trialled earlier on the week. What were your thoughts on that trial?
Well, he's just like we were talking before. He's just like the horse that's going half pace and the others having their heads ridden off.
Doing it so easily.
He is so good. He reminds me a lot, and I'm not the only one who said this importantly. Shane Dye's also said it, and so has David Hayes. He reminds me of Black Caviar, just in the way that when Black Caviar was winning races, this is exactly how she was doing it. She looked like she was just, 3/4 pace, and the other horses were gone, halfway from home. So it goes to show what a huge motor the horse has. His lungs are just obviously incredible. He's pretty much a freak of nature, I would have thought, because horses like him don't come along very often. And look, if I was a slot holder in Australia, I'd be pretty concerned. Second prize money's not bad, but gee whiz. Look, in saying that, Nature Strip was odds on. He got beaten. He was a top sprinter in the world. But right now, gee whiz, Ka Ying Rising's got to be. He is the odds-on favourite for a reason. And look, I'll be surprised. He's racing tomorrow, Julie, as well in Hong Kong. He's having his last start over there at 4 o'clock Sydney time. And what'll be interesting, I mean, he'll win, declare him, but one would imagine he would win. What will that do to the market? Because he's $1.80 now before the race. If he wins, will he be $1.70? What if he gets beat? Will he be $2? Will this Everest change on its head? I don't think so.
All right, let's take a look at the Everest field as it stands now. Now, we only have what is on your screen right there, these 4 runners. So Whitby and Wherrett have Briasa. They locked Briasa in back in May. Tab have gone with Jimmy Star. The ATC has joined up with the Hong Kong Jockey Club. They've got Ka Ying Rising. Private Harry is with Yulong Investments. If we turn the page, now these are the slot holders yet to make their selections. Trackside Media, Newgate GPI, Chris Waller Racing, Mulberry Racing. We turn over to the next page again. Coolmore, John Camilleri, Sir Owen Glenn and Godolphin. 2 blank pages there, Shane.
It'll be interesting to see how fast they're filled because, we've got the Concorde on today. The other horse I should mention coming through the Concorde is Headwall. I could see him making that list easily. If he's not in the top 12 sprinters in Australia, I'll give up. I mean, he raced in a TJ Smith, an Oakley Plate behind Jimmy Star, a Newmarket, and at the Quokka last start. He probably should have won the Quokka. High pressure race over 1200 on a good fast track. So Headwall has gone from being, a Warra winner at Kembla, which is not a bad race, but to being a legitimate Everest contender would be great for Matt Smith. He's already had a runner. I think this horse is better than his previous runner. And look, I mean, he could get in. There's a young horse running around at the moment called Beedman, who's named after the great jockey. He's only had 3 starts, won 2 of them. 8-length winner of the Gold at the Gold Coast, the Ken Russell. I mean, is he the Giga Kick of this year, Julie? You know, like Giga Kick was a 20-1 shot that came out of absolutely nowhere, was sort of a late entry, if you like, and knocked off Nature Strip. So, yes, won it as a 3-year-old. It's a bit early to call it yet, but I think the field will start to take a little bit more place after today. But as we get closer and closer, obviously it'll go real quick right towards the end.
And it doesn't take long for it to change shape either. Shane, we have to leave it there. We've run out of time, but we do have the second leg of the Princess Series, race 6, the Furious Stakes, and also Chairwolf is favourite.
Yeah, Chairwolf, he's expected to win, as Nick Burney said earlier today. I hope he does win. There's been the horse was very unlucky behind Via Sistina. Poor old Chad Schofield copped it on social media, which is criticism all well and good, but it was a bit over the top. And he's a good young jockey, and he's a good horse too. So hopefully Chairwolf back in the winner's store.
All right, Shano, thank you. Lovely to see you. See
Likewise.
you next week. Stay with us. We catch up with 3-time Everest winning jockey Karen McAvoy. That is coming up after the break. Welcome back. You're watching Racing Dreams, and Racing's new Grey Flash became the second horse locked in for this year's Everest, with slot holder Max Whitby, Steve McCann, Colin Madden and Neil Werrett securing the Hawks-trained gelding. Back in May, Maxie Whitby joins me live on the phone now. Good morning, Mr. Whitby.
Good morning, Jules. How are you?
I am lovely. Thank you so much for joining me. That run in the TJ, I tell you what, it really cemented Browser as something exciting. When did he catch your eye?
Oh, very early doors. We've raced with the Hawks gang before, and they've always kept their eye open to things. And you know, as you know, I've gone late, I've gone early, gone in the middle. I didn't want to miss a good horse. We knew we were up against something because the day after last year's Everest, the Charlton came out, and I got a phone call on the Sunday night from a certain jockey, and he says, "Get this horse, mate. Did you see that today?" And I went, "Oh, yeah, well, the paint hasn't dried from yesterday yet." Anyway, then Neil got on the phone to David through the week, and we went hard. We did our best, but you could just feel that there was going to be the heavies are going to come over the top of us, and subsequently, you know, it was very hard to deal with. The split was ridiculous, and then we're still trying to be as commercial as we possibly can. Always remember we were very early doors in the concept of the Everest, and most of the slot holders weren't interested in it early, and they actually knocked the concept, but they've all come over the top. And I've got to say, from a split, you know, originally we thought the slot holders had some sort of control over it, the race, but it's the last about 2 years, and then the owners of the horse have taken control of the splits, and that's their prerogative, of course. But when the slot holders go from individuals and small corporates, or just punters and owners, to corporates and giants and race clubs, etc., it's very hard to compete on price. I think the big brands just want to have the prestige and the status of we won an Everest, but you know, we're chipping away every year. We're doing our best. Got a couple of seconds and thirds and fourths and lasts and eighths, and so we're in there swinging. And I think we deserve to be in the top 2 or 3 lines of the betting. And more will be revealed tomorrow out of Hong Kong. Car Ying, of course, looks the horse to beat. Private Harry trial through the week did look good. Jimmy Star today. Maddie Smith's got head wall going around today. I think it is. In fact, it is. So, you know, only a few slots taken, but, you know, Chris has always got a few options, and Shenandoah and Lady Shenandoah and, you know, et cetera. So, yeah, I think a few things will be revealed. Our horse, Barrow, trials on Tuesday up against a very flash Waller horse. But, yeah, so we're in there swinging.
You're always in there swinging, Maxie. You're always in there. What has been the feedback from Team Hawks? I saw a little something from them earlier in the week. They're saying that he's bigger, he's stronger, and more importantly, he's also mentally more mature.
Yeah, all feedback via Neil's been terrific. As you know, I'm living in Queensland, so Neil sees a bit more of them than me, but things are all starting to heat up conversation and after Tuesday's barrier trial. So all reports very positive, and we're very happy to be in the position, very happy to be racing with the Hawks. the owner and the son, long-time clients of John and the boys, and we're just happy to be involved.
Do you think he will go up another level this season? Is that what they're anticipating?
Yeah, well, he's 5-year-old now, and he's only lightly raced 10 starts, I think he's had. So, I think he's got all in front of him. He's well prepared. Let's get back to see where the barriers are. Interesting, he can run on both surfaces. Like you've been doing this as long as I've been doing it, Jules. Basically, we always seem to have a bit of give in the tracks, and we'll see what happens with track conditions. But that doesn't bother us either. The Hong Kong horse, let's see what he can do in the wet track. In fact, he's got to hit a muddy type of surface. But, what can we say? You've got to find cracks in all of them, but we just know our horse, and as I say, onwards and upwards.
Well, speaking of Car Young Rising, we saw him trial earlier on in the week. He runs tomorrow. What have you made of this horse? Can he be beat?
Well, the only going for us, of course, he's got to travel. He's got to come down. I think he comes down on the last race tomorrow up there, and comes down goes into quarantine on the 22nd. I think my numbers tell me. I think so. He's got to travel. God forbid anything goes wrong in transit. But I'm sure Dave's a very professional guy. He knows that. In fact, he trained our first year's horse that got knocked off by a nose. I'm picking my words.
We won't go there, Max. We won't go there.
No. So, I just think he's got to travel and he's got to hit our conditions, and, that's about the only we're possibly going for us, Jules. I'm struggling for how do I beat it, but we'll do what we've got to do. So just see how it travels, and we wish them well.
And we wish you well, Max. It's been so lovely to chat to you. We'll talk to you in the weeks ahead, 6 weeks until the big dance, the $20 million Everest. You've been there from the get-go. We'd love to see you up there with a trophy come the 18th of October. Thanks for your time. We'll chat soon, Maxie.
Okay, thanks, Jules. Bye.
Well, Karen McAvoy has won more Everest than any other jockey, 3 in fact, and the boy from Streaky Bay is eyeing off another big spring. Timmy caught up with the champion hoop for Racing Dreams.
The Skyhook is in, 1,100 metres and they're off. Skyhook a narrow leader from Grand Prairie. It's Skyhook a neck in front to Grand Prairie, and Skyhook giving weight away all around, and he's still too good. Skyhook by a neck on the line to Grand Prairie.
He's a good horse. He come back in good style the other day. Big weight on his back and he got the job done. So looking forward to getting on him in the Rosebud and then the Run to the Rose and then hopefully the Golden Rose.
How good is he, do you think?
Look, he's a good quality colt in his own right. Obviously, he's going to be meeting stiffer opposition in his next couple of runs, but he's a little bit untapped in the sense that I think he surprised Gerald and Sterling as a 2-year-old, and he's got more. I think he's got a bit more to come if he enjoys 1,400 and possibly a mile. Then that's when we might see the best of him.
Redzel's burst clear at the 100 metres. Vega Magic, Brave Smash running on, then Tulip. But Redzel, he's home in the Everest. Redzel leads all the way. It's Redzel clear. Redzel, 50 metres to go. Looking to conquer the Everest again. And boy, he's done it. Redzel leads all the way from Trapeze Artist. Classic Legend 4 off. The grey flash is starting to cut loose. Here he comes. Classic Legend storms to the front and kicked away. The grey flash is now an Everest legend.
And to look back on it, remarkable. It's grown such an enormous amount, and it's part of the calendar for all the young sports goers. It's just a massive day. So to be able to achieve that level of success, it's a pretty good feeling to be able to sit back and say you've won 3 of them, and the first 2 editions went to Redzel and the Snowden camp, and it's a special race. It's a race along with the Melbourne Cup you look forward to every year.
Well, Classic Legend was your 3rd, and he was so confident, wasn't he, the wily old South supporter?
Les, yeah, he done a great job with Classic, and that horse was a star in his own right. He was a phenomenal win that day. He was a barnstorming win from the back of the field, and shame we didn't get to see the best of him. He was a talented sprinter.
3 Melbourne Cups as well. Not a bad biography for a boy from Streaky Bay.
Yeah, had 3. First one was in 2000.
McAvoy wheels a whip and Brew draws away to win the Melbourne Cup. A superb ride.
And then took me 16 years to get another one, so it sort of took a while to achieve that second success, but then we were able to back it up with Al Mandan in.
Al Mandan and Heartbreak City, what a finish to the Melbourne Cup. Al Mandan putting his nose in front of Heartbreak City, they hit the line. Al Mandan won it by a very narrow margin from Heartbreak City. Here comes cross counter coming at Barbello. Cross counter's flying, the Blue Army have done it at last. Cross counter has won the Melbourne Cup.
Fantastic to be able to achieve 3 successes in the Melbourne Cup. Dream come true, really.
And you still have the passion to come out here to trials at Hawkesbury. You love the game, don't you?
Oh yeah, love competing, love riding horses, and hopefully still got a few big wins left in me.
How good is it to see the kids get around it? Your kids have, right through the course of time, have all been up front and centre and loving it.
Yeah, they've done lots of pony riding and show jumping. They competed in a few of the pony races, which is a great initiative Australia-wide for kids that are involved in equestrian to be able to go out and go flat out on their ponies on the racetrack. It's a great initiative.
I know you've got another trial to get into, but I will ask you one last question. What about the Sydney Spring? It has become quite magical.
It has, yeah. It's like I said, competing at a really high level, and the Sydney Spring is fantastic. You know, there's huge amount of prize money at all levels. Whether you're country, provincial, or in the city. It's just fantastic to be part of it, and great racing every weekend now for a few months ahead. So it's going to be exciting.
Thanks for your company here on Racing Dreams. We're just 6 weeks away from the world's richest race for country-trained horses, the 2025 Kosciuszko. To talk to me more about this morning, I'm joined by Mark Brassel from Racing New South Wales. Good morning, Brass.
Good morning, Jules.
Lovely to have you back in.
Oh, fantastic to be back. Spring
is in the air.
Best season and best racing season. I love it.
It is so good. We've got a great day ahead as well. But I want to talk to you about the Kosciuszko. $2 million on the line for this race. Remind us about this concept and just what it means to country trainers.
Well, as you said, $2 million is up for grabs, $1 million for first. This is a race everyone wants to win. Every bush trainer. 7 runnings? There's been 7 runnings. Front page, as we see here, running second. Far too easy last year. It's a race. All these country trainers actually spend 12 months setting their horse. For the Kosciuszko, $2 million. Wow. But the sticking point is that they're not guaranteed a start because it's run like a mini Everest. The slot holders, they'll be drawn on Wednesday. The tickets for this $5 sweepstakes closes Monday. Then the 14 come out. Then the 14 people approach trainers or connections of horses they like and ask them to come in on a deal. And if sometimes the deals can go skew-if, and if connections want a little bit more than whatever the 50-50, 60-40, there's no guarantee the horse will actually get in. So the power is with the slot holders. So that's where it's intriguing.
Such a fascinating concept. As you said, this will be the 8th year. We've had winners like Handle the Truth, Art Cadeau, Front Page. What's it done for these trainers, but also what's it done for the punters, because now they're part of the experience?
Well, it's a great punting race. I mean,
it's so good.
It's, a mini Everest, because a lot of these horses, some of the ones you just named, they're all stakes horses. They've gone on and won stakes races. So this is a fairly high-class race now. And as I said, it means so much to these country trainers. I mean, they get a decent horse, they will set it for 12 months for the Cosy and hope the phone rings. But the punters, it's a great race to punt on. They're normally $4 and $5 a field. Front Page has been a revelation. Like 2 wins in a row and ran second last year, and I think he's the current favourite. So it's just a really great race to look forward to. And as I said, it's only 7 years it's been run, and it's just gone gangbusters. So it's a great race on Everest Day.
Another incredible concept. You've got to give it to Racing New South Wales for that one. Today's racing, Danny Williams. Now, he has a couple of contenders that he's hoping will end up in the Cosy. Who have we got? Creon and Highway Strip, which is favourite. So we'll see the trial from Wagga last week here.
Now, this Highway Strip, he's in the middle there. He's a big horse, but he was actually ordered to trial twice. He won this trial, he won another trial. The previous time he raced at Randwick, dead set, I think Danny would agree with me, absolute rat bag. He just ran about everywhere, actually caused a horse to fall, pushed it into another one, came round the turn, crabbing, finished closer to the Doncaster Hotel than the inside fence, but just kept powering to the line. He's favourite today, but geez, like Chad Schofield's aboard. And even he said, look, if he puts his mind on the job, he's the best horse in the race. But you just don't know what the big fella's thinking.
So we'll find out this afternoon. We've only got a minute left. Swift Falcon is your tip of the day, race 9.
Absolutely. We got the trial here, yeah. You'll see him running about 5th down the outside with a light cap. He will steam home under a throttle hold. Now, the horse he's going past right now is Lady Shenandoah, who's favourite for the previous race, the Concorde. But look at the way he gets to the line. He's a horse that, he's been placed in 5 stakes races. He's won a stakes race himself. And here he is first up, got a great first up record. I think he'll be so hard to beat. And he's about $6 or $7 today. So one race I think he's obviously going to be set for is a $10 million Golden Eagle. He's won over a mile, it's over 15. So I'm thinking if he wins that, they can rename the race the Golden Falcon.
Oh, he's thought about that.
There you go.
Mark Brassel, lovely to see you. A big season ahead. We'll chat to you in the weeks to come. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank you always to our great sponsors at Racing New South Wales for your support. And thank you for joining me this morning. Timmy's back next weekend with me. Until then, have a lovely weekend. And of course, happy Father's Day for tomorrow.